Increasing the speed of growth in your business is all about 4 things. And I'm going to detail exactly what those 4 things are in just a moment, because so many businesses fail to scale because they don't understand that speed in business is not like developing speed in any other area of your life. The speed maybe that you could find great employees, or bring a new idea to market, or make a new marketing campaign profitable, or even the speed at which you could sell your company and move on to your next project. The speed that most businesses grow is less than 15% of what they should be able to grow. And I'm not talking about super fast, crazy growth that's bad for a company. That kind of chaotic or unstructured growth literally crushes companies. In fact, I acquired 2 companies over the past few years because they grew too fast and they ran out of money to support their growth. And after I brought them in, we kept their growth rate up. Not because I had more money, but because I knew the few things that I needed to keep my finger on in that business to support rapid growth, which is what I want to go over today. Now, how many times have you heard of a business that started to grow so fast and then they had, I don't know, employee issues or compliance issues or customer support issues or warehouse issues or whatever, and their lack of knowledge of how to scale either stunted their growth or crushed them completely? How many times have you heard that? Because it happens every day in business. Because speed in business is unlike speed in any other area of our lives. A couple of weeks ago, some of my friends and I flew down to Florida to go to the Super Bowl parties, and it was a great night. The very first party that we went to was the Rolling Stones party, and we had this private table, and we had it throughout the entire night. This VIP table, and a lot of celebrities came over, and a lot of NFL players came over just to hang out with us because we had this wonderful table. And I had an amazing conversation with one of the players on how speed in sports is so important, right? The speed of running, the speed of being able to change direction, the speed of healing after an injury, the speed of thought so that you can process thoughts instantaneously in the middle of plays. And there were so many correlations between what he was saying about sports and what we do in business. But then he said something that I thought was fascinating. He said, you cannot teach speed in sports. Either you got it or you don't. You can teach all the other tactics, but you can't teach somebody speed, whether it's with their hands or their feet or with their mind. But in business, you can teach speed. In fact, it's the ultimate unfair advantage. When you know how to scale past the $1 million mark or the $10 million mark or the 25 or 50 or whatever, when you know how to scale past there, it's easier to grow to and then pass that level next time. And when you've done it 2 or 3 or 4 times, you sit back and you watch everybody else trying to figure out why it's taking them so long, right? You sit there and you're just like, what's going on here? Because increasing the speed of growth in your business is just about 4 things, right? Number 1, it's a speed to market, which is taking something from idea to creation to testing to converting, and then hopefully to be an ongoing product or service that you offer. So you might have an idea, you might create a product out of that idea or a service, and then you try to sell it. And you keep testing your marketing and testing and testing and testing until you get it right. And then you keep testing your sales process, and you test that and you test it and test it and test it until it converts at a respectable rate. And once you get all that down pat, that product and that sales funnel become one of your core offerings. And obviously, the faster you could take a great idea out of your head and bring it to market, the faster you can move on the second process that you have, right? Which is speed of profit. So speed to market and then speed to profit, right? That's when we focus on shortening the time that it takes to go from sales, to make a sale, which is gross revenue when you think about it, to improving margin, which is the difference between revenue and your expenses, to making a significant profit, which is what actually goes into your pocket at the end of the day. And every single time you increase your speed to market or your speed to profit, you make your company more stable and increase its growth rate. Now, the third way to increase your speed of growth is speed of implementation, which is how quickly we can systematize things and then improve upon our systems for every single aspect in our company. Because after you bring a product to market and then focus on improving its profitability, systematizing the key aspects of everything that it took to get your product to that point, it allows you to come out with products in less than half the time, and often far less man hours and far less money needed along the way. So many small companies stay small because they focus most of their time on the hardest and most costly part of business, which is step 1, taking something out of their head and then creating it and testing it and converting it and getting it profitable, right? It sucks. Step 1 is necessary, but step 2 and 3 and 4, which we're about to cover, are what give companies the money and the systems that they need to grow faster than their competition. Fourth is speed of growth, which is locating and onboarding people and helping them to become rock stars inside of your business. So your team drives your growth for you. And this is an ongoing step because great people need that support from you to stay great. Remember, you're the driver in your business. In the beginning, you might have to drive sales because maybe there's nobody else on board. But if you follow these 4 steps, then very, very soon you won't need to drive sales, but you will need to drive other things like the vision of your company. And if you can do that, then your team will always be motivated to scale your business rapidly and in a sustainable way. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need to stop focusing on the shit that doesn't matter and do what really does matter, which is these 4 key aspects of growth. These 4 things predictably and consistently grow sustainable businesses. I could talk with somebody and within a few minutes I could tell if they're going to be struggling in business or if growth is going to come a little bit more easily for them. Just by talking to them about what they're focusing on and what they spend their time doing and who they surround themselves with or who they take advice from. So for the next day, try to ask yourself these few questions. Every single day, just ask yourself, number 1 is, what were the top 3 things I thought about most today? And then number 2, what did I spend the majority of my time doing? And if I wasted any time doing things that did not bring me closer to my goals, what were those actions? And list them. Next, who did I spend most of my time with? And are they supporting me to reach my next level of growth? And finally, ask yourself, who do I have in my life that I connect with regularly who has already achieved what I want to achieve? Now ask yourself those questions once a day for the next 30 days, and I promise you that you'll start focusing on more of the right actions, and the results you get in business will drastically improve, and you'll feel far more fulfilled in every single thing that you do, not just in business, but in life. And if you want to be held accountable to growing, then write your answers to those questions in the comments below, knowing that I'm going to see them, and so will the rest of our community, because just the act of sharing the answers to those questions, they're going to help you stay focused on what really matters in your life. Go ahead, comment below, and then subscribe and hit the bell notification, because I want you to be able to regularly tap into the tactics that are currently working to help entrepreneurs just like you to grow faster and far more effectively.